Okay. Infinite Spirit has a message that's coming through specifically for you. If you've landed on this video, you're part of the New Earth Collective and you are here to rise into your highest divine reality. And this involves you getting paid to be you, paid to exist. You are meant to be rich and famous in this lifetime. These are full-on New Earth celebrity vibes. You are meant to be seen, you are meant to be heard, you are meant to be received, you are meant to be felt, and you are meant to be experienced, living in your unapologetic authenticity, embodied in your divinity, and leading from your divine feminine frequency. And as you do that, you activate all of those that come into proximity with your field, with your frequency. And there's so much coming through right now, so I'll just see where this wants to go. But the thing that's coming through the most is it's time to own it. Trust in that knowing, because you've known this your whole life. You know you are meant to be seen and you're meant to be heard. You know that you have a big mission on your heart. You know that you're here to do something big. You've known this your whole life. I'm speaking to the wave of the collective that feels very mission driven and very impact driven. And you've never done anything conventional, most likely. You've always been kind of like the lone wolf or the black sheep, and you've never really fit into the societal boxes and norms that most people fit into, because you're here to chart a whole new path. You're here to chart a whole new way of existing. And you are here right now leading the New Earth timeline. And what's being asked of you right now is to fully embody it and trust and know that when you fully follow your fun and what lights you up and what brings you joy, that in that frequency, not only does it amplify everything that you create and share, but it also calls in all of the souls that you're here to activate, and it also triggers all of the ones that need that sacred mirror in order to illuminate their shadow. So you literally become the living, walking, talking sacred mirror that nobody asked for as you fully embody your divine feminine frequency. But that is your medicine. Your medicine is here. Your medicine is to be here, you authentically, unapologetically sharing your message and your gift and your magic with the world, whatever that is. And you won't it won't feel like work, it won't feel like effort, it won't feel like obligation, it won't feel heavy, it'll feel like fun, it'll feel like play, it'll feel like joy, it'll feel like an extension of you. And whatever comes natural to you, whatever feels innate to you that just feels like fun, that is your compass right now, is just to follow the frequency of fun. Forget trying to figure it out. Every time your mind jumps in and tries to figure everything out and compartmentalize it, or figure out how something's going to pan out or work, like, all you're doing is keeping yourself looping in that 4D reality, that fixer mentality, that performance identity, the one that has to figure everything out and thinks very linearly and logically. What's happening now is complete timeline collapse. It happens like that. There's no time necessary for you to flip into your highest timeline. It already exists. And the fact that you're even listening to this transmission now means you are entangled with it, or you wouldn't feel called to this. So what is being asked of you now is to discern from presence that this is what you're available for, and own it, declare it from your I am presence, not from the separate me self that is out there begging and trying to figure stuff out so it can carve out a better life for itself. I'm speaking to the old souls right now that have already, shed the egoic desires, and what's left after all of it's said and done are the soul core desires that you haven't been able to shake your whole life, and that you've known on a deep soul level your whole life that you are meant to fulfill. And that involves you being in your sacred visibility, sharing your gifts and your magic and your medicine with the world, which is you being authentic and unapologetic about being you, which is the easiest thing for you to do when you're not performing and you're not wearing all of those masks anymore, to fit in or to feel accepted or to feel validated or anything like that. So what this really means is that you can no longer afford to care what other people have to say or think about whatever it is you're doing or creating. If you are still looking for external proof or validation, or needing someone else to accept, or you're afraid to get rejected or something like that, like you're not operating from your authentic expression, because your authentic expression is not going to be rooted in the separate sense of self. It's going to be rooted right here and now in the presence that you are, and it's going to be a natural expression of that. It's like the fragrance of a flower. It just emanates right from the flower. Like your authentic expression just emanates from you. There's no longer like a mask that you're filtering it through. You're no longer filtering it through the me self, the false identity, the separate sense of you that is just illusory. It's just, you're not the combination of your thoughts and your belief systems and the body and the projections and the memories and all of those things. That's been swirling around in this like really addictive, like sea of, it's been so continuous throughout your journey that you've called it and you've identified with it as you, thoughts, belief systems, memories, projections, the body and things like that. But they're not you. And so I don't want to go down the rabbit hole of that in this transmission, but why I'm sharing this is because this is key. When you get roped into the separate sense of me, which you will still be oscillating between oftentimes as you're transitioning from 4D into 5D or 3D into 5D, and you may be hopping back and forth a little in both before you fully anchor into your 5D timeline, you're going to get pulled into the identity, the fixer identity, the performance identity, the one that's trying to escape your current reality identity, the one that feels like you need to figure everything out identity, or your survival identity, and all of those kind of things. And so you're going to get pulled into that, and you're not going to be able to create your highest timeline from that identity. That is like a mask that you've worn that is rooted in conditioning and patterns and things like that up until now. And it's a choice now to put that mask down. The conscious choice to put that mask down and live full on in your presence, in your I am presence, and create and live from the here and now. That's the only thing. It all happens now. It all happens here. New earth is now. New earth is here and now as you. Do you quote unquote get this, right? Like you can't access it in future projections. You can't access it in the mind. So anyways, long story short is, when you go down and you get sucked into the narrative, which you will still be oscillating between, when you get sucked into the narrative, the story of the old separate self, the old identity, you're not going to be creating your 5D timeline from that identity. Your 5D New Earth timeline is going to be created from your I am presence, which is the truth of who and what you are right here and now, which means you're going to have to give up the really addictive, sexy stories and narratives and all the things that the mind keep telling you to keep you hooked. The biggest ones being doubt and fear. And you're going to have to look at those and alchemize those with the light of your awareness, which is frequency, which alchemizes that. So fully owning from the I am that you are here and you are powerful and you are here to be seen and you are here to be heard and received and experienced and felt. And this is part of your divine calling. It's part of your divine blueprint. It's part of what God is here to experience and express through you and as you, is your unapologetic, authentic, divine expression, sharing whatever your magic, your gift, or your genius is with the world. And that could look like a lot of things. It could, so I'm not, maybe it's music, maybe it's art, maybe it's just your sense of humor, maybe it's just the way you speak about something, or maybe it's you channeling, or maybe it's like, whatever it is, your art is your art. It's just going to be an extension of you and what brings you joy and pleasure and fun and feels like play and feels expansive. So the other thing I was feeling called to touch on right now is this martyr energy that so many are carrying into what they perceive to be their 5D timeline, but this martyr energy is not going to be able to come with you either. And so this martyr energy can look like things that you think you should be doing based on like what you've done in the past, or maybe you feel like you're here to like, you have to heal everybody and you have to help everybody and it's at your own expense. And even though you're doing, and so things that you're doing or timelines that you're choosing right now don't feel fun, don't feel expansive, don't feel abundant, don't feel like play, don't feel creative, and things like that, then that's something to look at, because you're not operating from shoulds anymore. You're not operating from obligation. You have a fresh slate to live your highest divine timeline, which feels like fun, flow, and expansiveness, high frequency and play. And it is an extension of your unapologetic, authentic expression. If you're choosing timelines or paradigms where you're still performing because you feel you need to, or you feel obligated to, or you're doing things, or you're allowing things, or you're accepting things into your experience that you basically through fear or obligation or something like that, that's where the martyr energy is leaking your frequency and it's coming in the back door. And the martyr energy is not going to follow you into the timeline 5D. It can't go with you. The reason I'm sharing this is because I know who I'm speaking with. You are empathic, you are heart-centered, you are soulful leaders and visionaries, and you've been serving your little heart out for decades, most likely. And the message that's coming through is it's time to fully own, unapologetically, what feels authentic to you and living your highest divine reality. Because when you get clear and certain on that, that's when you can collapse into this timeline. If you cannot collapse into this timeline, still anchored and identified with the separate sense of you, or this martyr energy, or operating from this performance or fixer identity, or trying to problem solve and figure everything out, or the wounded identity where you feel like you need to escape into your highest timeline because you can't stand your current timeline, that is all fear consciousness. None of that is going to catapult you into your highest 5D timeline. So you are meant to be seen, my friend. You've known this your whole life. You're meant to be heard. You're meant to lead in some kind of way where it's at scale and impacts hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people. You're here to make a global impact, and you're here to live your best life. You're never here to settle. You were never here to compromise. And now all of the alchemy that has taken place on your journey, all of that has served its purpose and purified the vessel and purified the intentions and all the things, so that you can be a living, walking, talking, breathing example of an embodied divinity, sharing your gift and magic with the world in your most authentic, unapologetic expression. There's nothing else for you to do. You fully embodying your divine expression that lights you up is now your highest contribution to humanity. Would you look at that? Does it get any better than that? Your job now is to have fun. Your job now is to play. Your job now is to drop in and receive whatever wants to be created through you. Your job is to let go of all of the old stories and narratives that said it needed to be hard or difficult, or you had to effort a lot, or all the narratives and stories. It's not going to seem logical, and you're not going to know where you're going. That's the other thing. You're entering into the unknown, and you're just living your edge. But as you anchor into the frequency of fun and play, and you begin to create from that place, new things will drop in. Creative insights will drop in. Downloads will come to your awareness. And if it feels and pings you as feeling fun and expansive and feels like play, all you have to do is follow it. You're literally just follow the fun and the play and create from there whatever wants to be created. And as you create from that frequency, more will drop in, and you will get more nuggets of clarity around something, and it'll feel really like just lights you up, like, ooh, yeah, that's it. That's why you landed on this video. You know you're here to get paid to exist. You know you're here to get paid to just be authentically you. You know you're here to be famous in your own way or spotlighted in some way for your divine genius. And you know you're here to make an impact in the world. How is that going to be? In the most fun, the most freeing way? How is that going to be the most easy and effortless way? Start asking those questions, inquiring with infinite spirit that dwells within you to reveal whatever it is that's going to align this in the most fun, freeing, easy, playful, creative way. And so as you continue to take those little sacred actions on that, more will come in. You will get more clarity, but it will also be leading you more into the unknown. So eventually you just have to get really comfortable with riding the wave of the unknown and riding your edge. And you will, because it will feel so limiting to try to figure shit out anymore. You will feel so restricted when you try to figure shit out, because the land of the unknown is where infinite possibilities exist, where anything is possible, and it feels expansive and it feels freeing and it feels so potent with creative potential. Whereas as soon as you try to box it and make it known, or try to box it to figure it out, or try to box it to like plan it or something like that, it feels so restrictive, because you're not meant to play in that paradigm anymore. You're meant to flow in your divine feminine flow. You're meant to receive. You're meant to take sacred actions that feel aligned with your heart. You're meant to create from this and share from this. And this is all that the world needs from you now. So welcome to your highest divine reality, where you just you get paid to have fun, you get paid to play, you get paid to create from your joy, from your pleasure, and you get to create a life that lights you up beyond what you thought was possible. Because that, my friend, is the timeline that you are anchoring in right now, or you wouldn't have landed here. So drop a comment wherever you're listening to this if this landed for you. And until next time, I hope this finds you well. Namaste.